The ideal servant. What was Bessie's little weakness? It is a good thing my Aunt Harry died years ago. If she were alive today, she would not be able to air her views on her favorite topic of conversation, domestic servant. Aunt Harry lived in that leisurely age when servants were employed to do housework. She had a huge, rambling country house called the Gables. She was sentimentally attached to this house, for even though it was far too big for her needs, she persisted in living there long after her husband's death. Before she grew old, Aunt Harriet used to entertain lavishly. I often visited the Gables when I was a boy. No matter how many guests were present, the great house were always immaculate. The parquet floor shone like mirrors. The highly polished silver were displayed in gleaming glass cabinets. Even my uncle's huge collection of books was kept miraculously free from dust. Aunt Harry presided over an invisible army of servants that continuously scrubbed, cleaned, and polished. She always referred to them as the shifting population, for they came and went with such frequency that I never even got a chance to learn their names. Though she pursued what was in those days the enlightened policy, in that she never allowed her domestic staff to work more than 8 hours a day, she was extremely difficult to please. While she always criticized the fickleness of human nature, she carried on an unrelenting search for the ideal servant to the end of her days, even after she had been sadly disillusioned by Bessie. Bessie worked for Aunt Harriet for 3 years. During that time, she was so gained my aunt's confidence that she was put in charge of the domestic stuff. Aunt Harry could not find words to praise Bessie's industriousness and efficiency. In addition to all her other qualifications, Bessie was an expert cook. She acted the role of the perfect servant for 3 years before Aunt Harry discovered her little weakness. After being absent from the Gables for a week, my aunt unexpectedly returned one afternoon with a party of guests and instructed Bessie to prepare dinner. Not only was the meal well below the usual standard, but Bessie seemed unable to walk steadily. She bumped into furniture and kept mumbling about the guests. When she came in with the last course, a huge pudding, she tripped on the carpet, and the pudding went flying through the air, narrowly missed my aunt, and crashed on the dining table with considerable force. This caused a great mirth among guests. Aunt Harriet was horrified. She reluctantly came to the conclusion that Bessie was drunk. The guests had, of course, realized this from the moment Bessie opened the door for them, and long before the final catastrophe, had a difficult time trying to conceal their amusement. The poor girl was dismissed instantly. After her departure, Aunt Harry discovered there were piles of empty wine bottles of all shapes and sizes, neatly stacked in what had once been Bessie's wardrobe. They had mysteriously found their way there from the wine cellar.